Hello everyone and welcome back to Network 27. I'm Alderman Walter Burnett, Alderman of the 27th Ward. I'd like to thank everyone who helped us to put this show together. I'd like to thank all of you for tuning in. We'd like to thank Tamara Tarver for putting everything together and being a producer of the show. I also like to thank you ladies and gentlemen for attending the Stay in School picnic in August. Thank you all very much. I'd like to thank all of the volunteers, thank all of the people who contributed to the picnic. It was fantastic. Everyone had a good time. We were so blessed with everything. Hope everyone enjoyed it, and I hope that the young people take those school supplies and use them, and God bless all the kids who got scholarships to continue on their education. And hopefully some folks went to the tables where they have all of the different schools that are looking to recruit people, that they signed up and joined the school and made up their mind. Ladies and gentlemen, but we're going to talk about in between school. Today I have a young lady with me who works for an organization who helps young people while they're in school to enhance their lives, to get culture, to expose themselves to a lot of different things. We have with us Dianna Harris.
Oh, you got it.
Not Diana Ross, but yeah, Dianna Harris. And Dianna is with Big Brothers and Big Sisters.
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. Of Metropolitan Chicago.
Absolutely.
Welcome on the show, Dianna. Now, Big Brothers and Big Sisters been around for a long time.
A long time.
I mean, we've been hearing about Big Brothers and Big Sisters for a while. Mm-hmm. Matter of fact, there's some people probably older than me who's experienced Big Brothers and Big Sisters. But there's also a lot of people who just been hearing about it and don't know what Big Brothers and Big Sisters do.
Right.
So Dianna, first of all, why don't you introduce yourself to the audience, tell us something about you, and then tell us about this fantastic organization.
Okay, great. Hi everyone. My name is Dianna and I work as a recruitment specialist with Big Brothers Big Sisters. Something special about me, you can't put me on the spot like that. I don't know.
Well, just tell us something about you. Did you grow up in Chicago?
I did grow up in Chicago. There you go.
Okay. West side, south side?
South side, and I thought I wanted to leave and went to college in Wisconsin. Did not enjoy that. Definitely came back to Chicago after graduating and got my second and third degree here.
Fantastic. What did you get your degrees in?
My undergraduate is in radio, TV, film, communication arts. My first master's is in screenwriting. My second master's is in entrepreneurship. All right. Both from DePaul.
Fantastic. Good deal.
Yeah.
That's great. So you're from the South Side, went to school here in Chicago, and that's great, Dianna. So how did you connect with Big Brothers and Big Sisters?
I love nonprofit work. It's the work I've been doing since graduating college, actually, aside from my own business. And so at my last position, I worked as a recruitment specialist, and they found me, and we were just a good match. And I definitely love the organization because of the incredible impact that it has on children. And I definitely want to do work where I believe in the mission, and I believe in what Big Brothers Big Sisters does and how it really changes the lives of the kids that we work with, because I see it every day. It also changes the lives of our volunteers. And I'll tell you why. Because here's our program. It's a one-to-one mentorship program, right? So what that means is we pair a person from the community with a little from the community, a person between the ages of 7 and 14. And we try to match based on interests. So if you're a guy, like you're into politics, I mean, obviously you're alderman here, so maybe we'll try to help find a little who's into civics and, civic engagement. And we match you with that person, and together you guys try to find activities that you like to do together. So, I mean, if it were a kid who were into civic engagement, perhaps you went to a rally together, that would be an outing. But something as simple as going out to eat or going to a museum, going to play a game of basketball, those all count as outings, which may seem very simple. But when we talk to a lot of our kids, a lot of them reply back that they just loved having someone who said what they were going to do, who were there when they said they were going to be there. It wasn't about where they got to go, and our kids get to do some really cool things. It wasn't about what those people spent on them, because the volunteers pay for everything. It wasn't about that. It was about a person being there. And 100% of our littles graduate high school. More than 80% of them show improved relationships to their peers and their family members. More than 80% of them go on to pursue a secondary degree education. So it's like, it is a super effective program at showing these kids what a different world looks like, what they can have, what other opportunities are out there. And that's what this program is about. And it impacts our volunteers just as much as it does our littles, because we do ask that our volunteers take them out twice a month, at most 4 times a month, for at least 1 year. And most people hear that and they go, "Whew, I don't want to donate a year of my time. That's y'all asking for too much." But the average match in Chicago lasts for 3 years. And that's because once a person gets into a relationship with these kids, they are just as excited to see them as the kids are to see, as the kids are to see them. And it's just really dynamic, because we have our bigs come out and speak at our events all the time. And they're just like, I just never thought I would enjoy this program as much as I do. I just love my kid. We've had littles that were the best man in their big's wedding. I mean, we've seen videos of the kids literally growing up with their big. Like, it's just an amazing experience. And so I truly believe in this mission. It is very hard to recruit volunteers, not gonna lie. But I do believe in what I'm doing.
So Big Brothers and Big Sisters, how long have Big Brothers and Big Sisters been around?
More than 100 years.
More than 100 years.
This fellow named Ernest was like, I'm really disturbed by the number of kids I see who don't have any direction.
100 years ago?
100 years ago, he
Wow.
said this. And he said, I would like, what kids need is a person who's dedicated, who's there to tell him to keep going, to tell him that he can make it, and that person will be, a pivotal person in their life. And he established Big Brothers Big Sisters on that mission, on that belief, and that's really what it's been built on. That we don't serve necessarily high-risk kids, we serve at-risk kids who have the potential to go down the wrong path. But because we've put a person in their life who can talk to them about other opportunities or ways to solve their problems in a healthy way, they get to where they need to go. And so the program has been here in Chicago for more than 50 years, and we just opened a location in Inglewood to serve more kids on the south side.
Mm-hmm. So, and your main office is downtown?
Downtown.
So do you have an office on the west side?
No, because actually a lot of our matches are from the west side.
A lot of your matches are from the west side?
A lot of them are.
So when you say your matches, you mean
the match
the mentors?
is the mentor and a little. That's what's called a match.
So you trying to get matches on the south side? Right.
Okay. And we tend to have more matches on the west side because of Logan Square and Lakeview. These clusters of communities where there are people with disposable time, disposable income, and they don't have kids. Mm-hmm. The more south you get, you run out of those.
Everyone have kids.
Yeah.
What about further north?
Further north, so we also try to match people within 30 minutes or 45 minutes in traffic away from their little. So if you are 45 minutes away, then we can't do anything. So we get volunteers that want to volunteer from Glenview or Glen Ellen, mm-hmm. Berwyn, but those people can't necessarily commute to the kids that need us most.
So how do you recruit the kids?
The kids come to us in a couple of different ways. So we either establish partnerships with schools where we ask for referrals. So if the counselors notice some child who could benefit from a mentor, they send them over to us. Or sometimes the parents find us online and fill out an inquiry form online. Or I myself as a recruiter go out to the schools and I talk to the students in the classrooms or go to the parent-teacher conferences or things of that nature and recruit that way.
That's great.
We try to serve the people who come to us naturally first, but a good deal of our waiting list is on the south side. Over 66% of that list is boys. Over 67% of that list is African American.
Really? Mm-hmm. So is boys waiting to be served?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Absolutely.
Because I would think that girls will sign up more than boys, or young ladies.
Well, the thing is, more women volunteer. So as women, there's more women coming into the organization. So
to volunteer, to be
right.
mentors.
So we're able to match them more as we go. You also run into on the South Side because go ahead. I'm sorry.
So you mean the girls, the young ladies, already have mentors? So you have boys on the wait list because you don't have a lot of men.
Right.
I get what you're saying.
Right.
Okay.
Because we do very much value safety. Mm-hmm. We have a very strict set of rules. And all of our volunteers have to be background checked, fingerprinted, and trained before being brought on board. Mm-hmm. Having said that, we will work with people who do have something in their background. However, if it's sexual in nature, even some violent acts we can't do it. And some of those people would be kind of effective, and that's why we're trying to change the conversation and figure out ways to make sure the child is still safe while putting an effective mentor in their life, right? Because it's easier for me as a child to believe someone who grew up in that environment and telling me not to do something, as opposed to a person on the outside of the environment and never had to survive what I did telling me, hey, you probably shouldn't do this. It's just more effective. So we are trying to work around it, but again, we take safety very serious.
So do you pay volunteers? They're volunteers, so they don't get paid.
They do not get paid.
Do you give them money to take the young people out, or they do it on their own?
We have like a hobby fund. So if the volunteer and their little take up a hobby together, like learning to play the guitar or make pottery, we will pay for those classes. They just need to submit the expense. We do also have raffles too, like Bears games, Cubs games, Blue Man Group. We also put together a calendar of free activities that are going around the city. So like your back to school fair attendant, like that's something we put on the calendar and say this is somewhere you could probably take your little, they can enjoy themselves, be in the community, that sort of thing. So we do.
So you get them ideas of where to take young people?
We do. Our volunteers are given a match support specialist. That person calls once a month, 1 to 2 times a month to figure out how the match is going, and then to help them fill in the gaps in terms of like planning outings, what they should do, or even how to respond to what the kids may be talking about.
Oh wow, so you kind of help them to get culture also.
Oh, absolutely.
So you help them to come up with ideas.
Absolutely.
Just in case they may not go anywhere themselves.
Right.
You tell them about places to go.
We tell them places to go, and we also help them figure out ways to cope with their children, things that they're going through, because some of our kids are in challenging situations.
May be traumatized.
Right, and there are a good deal of our volunteers who have, because we ask the question, have you ever witnessed violence? And there's a good deal that say like, no, which may not be the same for a lot of our kids, because like I said, a lot of our matches are in Austin, East and West Garfield, North and South Lawndale. So they may have seen that. So we have to coach them through how to talk with their children. They have to all become mandated reporters. Like we've been able to remove children from violent home situations because all of our volunteers have become mandated reporters. So that's what I mean when it's like a super effective, life-changing program to have this aid in their lives.
Fantastic. So you mentioned that you have more male young people waiting for mentors, and that's because you don't have enough male mentors to mentor young men. So there's a big demand for men to be mentors.
Absolutely, and it's my job to be a part of a lot of community fairs, organizations, things of that nature, and everybody's having the same conversation. How do we draw more men into this? And or they have more informal mentor settings, so it's easier for a volunteer to drop in, drop out, when we're more about developing a committed relationship where we can really measure how effective it is, right? Because we make longitudinal studies. We call once a month for as long as they're matched to figure out how things are going. So by the end, we can demonstrably say how much a kid improved or didn't. We take that very seriously. So what we run into is that a lot of people on the South Side either volunteer through the church or they volunteer through like their own organization. So like if they're in a sorority or fraternity, they're volunteering through that. And it's harder to get them to come in on another organization and volunteer, especially when you also need disposable time and income to participate in it. And if you have your own kids, it makes it very difficult because now we're also asking you to find childcare. But it is so life-changing for the kids who get to have a mentor.
So have you ever had a situation where someone was a mentor, mm-hmm. but they had their own children?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, mm-hmm. and their kids become friends with the match?
Oh yeah, we've had that. And while I say that, I wanted to emphasize, like, we encourage the one-to-one mentorship, so they can't take their kids out on the outing. Once every 3 months, we'll allow them to have an outing with their kids and mm-hmm. whomever else they would like, but we really try to focus on that one-to-one. But like we were discussing, people can stay matched with their kids right through high school, right? And my supervisor actually has been in communication with her little since they were paired, right? Her little has gotten married, had a baby, all of that, and she still comes to her Thanksgiving. You know, my supervisor went to her wedding. She went to all of that, and so like she knows my supervisor's children, you know, so these relationships are cultivated over time where they're knowing more and more of the family. And like I said earlier, like we've had littles be the best man in their big's wedding mm-hmm. because like people really start to see each other as a family. I know when I first started working there, it was my job to like listen in on a check-in phone call with a match support specialist. And this woman had been matched with her child, her little, since she was 7 years old. The girl was turning 18. And she broke the rules and she bought this girl a car. And we were like, oh my gosh, you can't do that. And she just didn't see what was wrong. She's just like, that's my little, you know, she turned 18. And we're just like, daughter. You cannot do that.
She bought her a car.
She bought her a car.
I need you to connect me with her.
Right?
Match me with her so she can buy me a car.
But you know, we were like, you know, and it made it worse because like the little had a little accident in the car. And we were just like, oh my gosh, are we liable for like, it was just a lot. But that's just to say that's how ingrained these relationships become, you know, we become family. And that's why it's just, I hate to come from the standpoint of, you know, 2 times a month for 1 year. I don't want people to focus on that. I want them to focus on the benefits that they could have from developing a relationship with one of our kids. And they're all just astounding little people, you know, because we all have to do in-depth interviews with them. We sit down for an hour and a half, go to the house, and we talk to them, figure out what makes them tick, you know, what they like, what they don't like. And we really get close to them, you know. And all these kids are just so awesome in their own ways. And I would love to see them all get to have a mentor, right? We, you know, kids with behavioral issues have turned around dramatically being in this program. We have a lot of mothers who say, oh, my daughter has an attitude problem, can y'all work on that? And a year later it's going, oh, what did she do? Like, she's a totally different person. So it's really effective. I really love hearing those stories and never get tired of them. We get pictures all the time. Not too long ago, we got a picture of a big with his little, and also his big. So like he got older. 3 generations. Yeah, 3 generations. So it was like, that was so cute. But you see how effective it is that somebody grew up, went through the program, and was like, now I want to give back what I got to experience. And that's just the power of this program. And we get to see that a lot. I'm very excited about that. We have a match on the South Side that was like that as well. She grew up in the program and came back and said, you know what, I want to give back. So we're trying to be as successful on the South Side as we have been on the West Side in making matches, but we just need more awareness.
So I would imagine this probably have helped to save some lives too. Yeah, because I'm sure they're getting some good mentorship and good foundations of how to stay out of trouble, but they also get a lot of exposure to different communities to help young people to get out of the community because their parents may not have that exposable income to take them to different things around the city and outside of the city, which I think is fantastic. Then they get to see other neighborhoods too.
Right.
And see how other people live.
Right. And I think it's very important that you just said, like, the parents may not have the income, right? Because some people have their own ideas of what the program is before coming in, that it's all high-risk kids, single-parent households, trauma sort of thing. The parents don't care, they're not involved, they're not engaged. And it's not necessarily the story. Sometimes, or a lot of times, these parents are working and working very hard and don't have the time to really take their kids out the way they would like to. And so this program is here to help fill in those gaps and help them see different parts of the community. I'm gonna say, like, I'm really jealous of this one little who got matched with this woman who lives in the Trump Towers. Like, this woman is just
What's her name? I bet I may know her.
That lady is balling out of control, and I just know this little is having the time of her life. And she's a little from East Garfield, actually. And I'm just like so happy because I know the type of experiences that she's going to get to have, the types of places she'll get to visit downtown. I know, like, even as a kid who grew up on the south side of Chicago, there were a good number of places I never saw downtown, and I lived in the city. So it's just, I know a lot of other kids are living that reality, and it's very exciting to see them see other things. But another great aspect of the program is the number of different careers that the kids are exposed to. We get all types of people in this program. We recently just enrolled a pilot, and I'm just excited for the kid who's matched with him, because just like, how many kids say, like, I want to grow up to be a pilot? You know, you hear a lot of basketball and you hear a lot of football or this and another, but a pilot, you know, that's something that's tangible and, you know, really lacking in visibility in the African American community. So I'm going to be so excited when that kid is matched, and it's just a life-changing program.
So are all your children African American?
Oh, no. We serve all kids, and we serve all of Lake County. All of Cook County, Lake County, and part of DuPage County.
So it's very diverse.
So it's very, very diverse.
So you try to help because, you know, all types of young people need mentorship.
Right.
And when you were saying that, you know, it's not just dysfunctional families, right? There's just families that don't have time because they may be working 2 jobs or working and going to school or whatever the case may be. So when you said that, what's his name, Aaron or Eric, who started the organization?
Ernest.
Ernest? I knew it was an E. Ernest started the organization 100 years ago. I'm sure 100 years ago, they probably didn't have as much trauma as we have today, right? But I would imagine that the parents probably had to work hard. Oh, yeah. And they probably didn't have time, right? And they probably came home tired every day because they were working so hard. And so all they could do is eat and maybe try to do something around the house and go to sleep. So to have somebody else to fill that gap, I think is very important, right? And especially on a personal level.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's just like, sometimes it's just they've got one too many kids, you know.
Yeah, and they have a lot of kids.
And you may have a lot of kids and you can't treat them individually. I'll never forget a woman I ran into who was like, yeah, I like to take each of my kids on their own little date, you know, just, I've got 3 kids and they each get their own day with mom. And I was like, that's so cute and thoughtful. Like, I grew up in a family with like 5 other siblings. That would have been like really nice if my mom did that. And I think that's
a date is just sitting down to dinner. Before everybody else comes.
Exactly.
Right?
Before your sibling gets you in trouble.
That's right.
Mama, she hit me. You know, before that happens. Before you have room to get mad at me, let's go have dinner.
That happened in your generation too? I thought that just happened in mine.
Oh, no. My mom did not play that, okay?
Yeah.
But that's why the program is really great for also the kids who come from a multi-family home. Because it's sometimes you're just missing that individualized attention.
And then it may be a family where you may not have a dad at home.
Oh, yeah.
And in some instances, unfortunately today, you may not have a mom at home.
Oh, yeah.
Or you may not have a mom or a dad.
Oh,
you
yeah.
may be getting raised by your grandparents.
We have a
or
lot
your
of
grandma
those.
or a foster parent.
We have those.
You
we
had
have
those
aunts.
too?
We have big sisters. And I mean, and to your point, I unfortunately do hear a lot, their father just passed or their father passed when I was pregnant with them. I don't hear as much that their father's incarcerated, but I do hear a lot their father has just is no longer with us. Mm-hmm. And I feel it's so unfortunate for those kids to be missing out on that person in their life. It just makes going to school so much harder for them, and I feel bad for the teachers on top of that because they're suffering because these kids don't have individualized attention. I know when I was a teacher briefly, I quickly realized I can't do anything as an instructor without the parents' involvement. I can't tell the kids stop doing something if mom doesn't agree with me and like reinforce that. So it's like having that mentor in their life will help fill in that gap where mom can't necessarily, or sometimes, and a lot of times, kids get to those teenage years, those preteen years, and they don't care what their parents have to say. They're quicker to believe somebody on the outside.
Else before they believe their parents, yeah.
So it's just like, and they're gonna probably say the same thing, but because it came from somebody else. That's right. All right, I'll listen. Yeah. And a lot of parents start to realize that, and they say, well, fine, I'll need an outside help on this. Mm-hmm. And that's why it's life-changing because you may not believe it from mom, but you believe it from somebody else. And it's something that I always told my students that were like in, 8th grade. I know you guys are getting to that age where you have that impulse to tell mom that you're somewhere that you're not. You're at your friend's house, but you at a party. Listen, some adult needs to know where you are. That's right. Period. Because if you disappear, they need to know where to start looking, that sort of thing. And I know they were more inclined to come listen to me because they would come back and tell me little devious stuff they saw somebody else doing. They're just like, Miss Dianna, I can't believe it. But I just knew that mattered. And I know it was the same thing that her mom was telling her because her mom was very Christian, very stern. But it mattered more coming from me because I've been through that, I've seen that. Listen, tell somebody where you are, and that's the power of mentorship. It's crazy that how much that matters.
That's great. So, ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Network 27. Alderman Burnett. I'm here with Dianna Harris. Dianna is with the great Big Brothers and Big Sister organization. Who just moved to office in Inglewood. Oh, yeah. Where's your office in Inglewood?
It's on the Kennedy King campus.
Oh, at the college.
Oh, yeah. And it's a beautiful office. I'm so excited about the partnership. It took a while to cultivate, but our CEO was like, we got to be right there. As you know, it's right there at the Halsted Green Line stop. And our office downtown is right off the Clinton Green Line stop.
So it's like Clinton and
Halsted.
Clinton and Halsted.
No.
Clinton and Halsted go the same way.
No. I'm saying we have one office off the Clinton Green Line stop, one office off the Halsted Green Line stop. So you could take the train.
So you have 2 offices? Right on Lake Street?
We have one on Lake Street, one in Inglewood.
Okay.
But you can take the train to both.
Oh, so the Green Line goes south too. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking about the Green Line on the west side. Because on the west side it stops at Clinton and it stops at it don't stop at Halsted, but I got it. Okay.
And so they were really excited. We have to be connected like that.
And they're both pretty neutral areas where it's safe for kids to come. So you were telling me do parents just bring the young people to you? Do the schools just bring young people to you? Do the churches bring young people to you? How do you get your young people?
As the mentor, you would go pick them up. So
No.
Oh,
how
they
do
get
they
in the
come
program?
to your organization? Yeah.
Oh,
How
go
do they get in
recruit
your
them.
program?
They either come online, I either go to the school and talk to parents.
So they have to find out how to come online.
Yeah.
Okay,
They
how do they do that?
Some people search, Google search. We have like lots of hits for mentorship Chicago. So some people may see us online. Other people will find out about us through the schools and our school partnerships. Because like Michael Faraday, that's in 60612, we have a lot of kids enrolled in our program there.
Fantastic.
Or I go to the classrooms I recruit, and that's like one of those days I went to Michael Faraday to recruit more kids, and like every classroom I went in, there was a kid there that we had served.
Who sort of vouched for you. Huh?
Yeah, and I was like, see, you got on the shirt, you can tell the kids how amazing it is, and they all were just like, it was just a great program. I was really excited to be in it.
So the funny thing is, you came to my office to tell me about the program, and one of my interns that I had stood up and said, "Oh yeah, I'm in Big Brothers Big Sisters."
Yeah, and she had just graduated from the program. And the crazy thing is, she was one of the littles who had 3 different mentors.
Is that right?
And she loved each of them. Like, she really got lucky.
Yeah, well, she was a very mature and outspoken young lady.
Yeah.
I mean, she was very comfortable talking to adults. And I think that's the advantage of it, because you take people out of their comfort level.
Right.
Right, where they just only want to talk to kids or only want to talk to their parents, but now they can talk to people of all nationalities, adults, and they can converse.
Right.
And it really makes them mature a lot.
It does, because I think there are some adults who don't want to have conversations with kids, and like they converse with them one way and converse with adults another. And so kids just are undeveloped in their communication skills. They don't really know how to advocate for themselves. They don't really know how to speak on their emotions or whatever, because they're used to many adults shutting them down. And the benefit of being in this program is that you've got an adult that you can talk to all the time, and they're not trying to shut you down. They want you to talk about your emotions. They want you to talk about the things you're insecure about. They want you to talk about the things that's bothering you, so they can help you work through them. And the benefit is that once you get older, you're better able to advocate for yourself. You're better able to identify your emotions. You're better able to control your emotions, because you know what's going on with yourself. I noticed with kids, they oftentimes are reacting badly because of some other emotion. You know, they're upset or frightened about something, and so they start acting out at school. And so like the benefit of having this mentor is a person who's helping them process their emotions. And so I was really excited to meet your intern that day. I went back and told my supervisor about it. I was just like, yeah, I know you guys saw her at graduation. I was really excited for her to be there. Because then I don't have to work as hard to sell the program.
She works for you. You know,
Works for me.
And I tell you, she stands out amongst the interns.
Nice.
She's a little older than most of them too, but she's very mature, very articulate. And you know, you can just tell she's just so comfortable, right? She's almost like she's ready to work in the office, right? I mean, that's how she acts, because she's just so mature. So I mean, I don't know if it's just her personality, but she just, you know, was very well versed.
I think it's a part of it. Like once you are around adults or used to them, acknowledging you, then you don't expect them to shut you down and just feel comfortable speaking.
Her name is Deja. Yeah,
I keep saying the name.
Deja.
Deja.
Right, Deja.
I don't know, it's just an exciting program. I really love being around kids who feel empowered to talk about themselves and what's going on, as opposed to just like yelling or screaming because something is wrong with them.
And she expressed how she's still cool with all her mentors, that they like her family, and which is a very good thing. So tell me, so you all fund for some of the trips if the mentors want you to do it. But how do your organization survive? How do they keep people like you working and recruiting and buying T-shirts and opening up offices and all of these things. Where do you all get your money from?
We are mostly donations.
So you're not a government-funded organization?
Most of our funds is not from the government.
Are you a religious-funded organization?
No.
Okay. So
mostly donations. Our biggest fundraising is a golfing event.
Is a golf outing?
Yeah.
Big Brothers and Big Sisters golf outing?
Yeah,
so
that's our biggest fundraiser.
Who's the highlight of your golf outing? You have some athletes or something coming there? Or
no.
Celebrities?
No.
Yeah.
We just got some very generous people who believe in what we're doing. I will say that my job was especially created by the Harris Foundation. The Harris Foundation came in and were like, here are these 6 areas in Chicago we would like to improve.
The Harris Foundation.
The Harris Foundation. These are the 6 areas.
Not Cara, but Harris.
Harris.
Okay.
It's spelled kind of weird. Caerus.
Yeah, it sounds like a Greek name.
Yeah, it kind of looks Greek.
Mm-hmm.
They came and they specifically were like, these are 6 areas we'd like to improve. We see what Big Brothers Big Sisters can do. So we're going to pay you to open an office in Inglewood.
Wow.
And create these 4 positions. So manager, recruitment specialist, me, and then 2 match support specialists and enrollment specialists. To make matches on the South Side.
All right, because they want to make a difference.
Right. So we are specifically supposed to serve Inglewood, North and South Lawndale, East and West Garfield, and Austin.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the 6 places.
Okay.
We are, like I said, pretty successful this way, struggle on the South Side.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm sure you'll get there. Hopefully people will see you right now, and they probably, you know, there's probably a mom looking at the show right now and saying, hey, you can put my daughter in there.
You know, I do
need
get a lot.
somebody to talk to her.
I do get a lot
you
of
can
that.
get my son.
I do
right,
get
but
that.
also you may have some people who may want to volunteer, who may want to be a, what you call them, a big, right?
Big.
Yeah, who may want to be a big. So tell me, with this new age of millennials, do a lot of millennials participate?
That's our target demographic. And I will say yes, a good deal of them
Because I know a lot of the millennials are into this, you know, feeling good about doing good. You know, they come up, that's their era right now. They feel good about doing good. Matter of fact, a lot of them quit big jobs that pay a lot of money to do something good.
Right. It just, I mean, and I'm one of those people. I prefer to do nonprofit work.
Instead of making a lot of money.
I walked away from insurance to do actually this job.
Okay.
And it's because of the work that I believe in doing. I will say, though, that Big Brothers Big Sisters lacks a lot of awareness amongst millennials.
Okay. You got to get on social media.
Oh, yeah.
That's where they are.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you know.
Man,
that's what you're a millennial, so you know.
That's what I've been saying, but hey, who are me? That's what I've been saying, you know, because we've been to lots of places in Chicago that draw millennials, like the Promontory, the Silver Room, lots of different places, but those persons that we recruit outside are less likely to follow through the process. The people who find us online are more likely to complete the process. And we get over 200 people a month that inquire about being a volunteer. We do.
That's great.
I mean, we don't get 200 people a month. We just get 200 inquiries a month.
If you get 10 out of the 2, that's pretty good.
I mean, it's pretty good. We do average about 26 matches a month.
That's great.
My office, Project 6 alone, we're responsible for 8 matches a month, and we've been constantly hitting that since we've opened. So we're doing pretty good. But
so you know how to get the guys? I'm going to tell you how you get the guys.
Tell me, please.
Tell the girls to tell the guys to do it. So if the women tell the guys to do it, most of them, men are motivated by doing things for their ladies. So
I agree. We do have a couple.
Y'all got that power, so use that magic, you know?
We've got a few couples that have signed up, actually.
You have a few couples?
We do.
That's good.
Actually, the pilot I was telling you about earlier, him and his girlfriend are both enrolling in the program. And she's a flight attendant. It's really cute. I don't know, it's just kind of different on the South Side, you know? Because I have guys who say, well, I'd love to do it, have a background, or I'd love to do it. I don't even see my own kids every weekend. Love to. So I run into all sorts of things.
Yeah, but the South Side has a lot of pockets.
Oh yeah.
I mean, like they talk about the West Side, they talk about the South Side. Every block is different. Everybody is not the same. And when you say the South Side, you're not talking about everybody.
No.
Right? When you say the South Side, you're talking about a whole bunch of different people, many different cultures.
Oh, I agree.
Right? There's different neighborhoods. You have some rich people that live on the South Side, and 2 blocks down the street, you have some poor people that live on the South Side.
Beverly, exactly.
That's right. In the same area. And you have similar things on the West Side. You have some real expensive houses in Austin, and then you got a rough area in Austin, right? And it's like 2-3 blocks over, right? So you can't put everybody in the same boat, and I wouldn't give up. I'll keep pushing. You just got to find where those folks are.
Absolutely.
So, I tell you, well, I can give you some ideas. But I think the best thing that you have going is that you're a millennial. So you need to get in those millennial circles and challenge those folks who want to do good, because I think they're the ones who would make the best mentors because, not to say, because they're close, close in age, right? And the kids can see themselves being them. They look at me, they don't see themselves being me. Unfortunately, a lot of our young people, in particular our young men, don't see themselves getting gray hair, and
that's honestly true.
And that's a sad testament, but they can see themselves, growing a little hair on their face, get a little peach fudge on their face. They can see themselves getting there. So I think if you can get more millennials, I think you have an opportunity. But again, if all of the females that volunteer for Big Brothers and Big Sisters had like a party and invited a whole bunch of people.
Oh, goodness.
I bet you get some guys.
You know what? I honestly believe that as well. I really do.
So it doesn't cost anything. It's free.
Free to our families.
If folks wanted their young people to get involved, their family members or folks that they have custody of, what should they do?
If they would like to get involved, and Lord, I'm so sorry for this URL, but it's bbbschgo.org. So 3 B's, schgo.org. BBBS.org. It's so difficult.
And then if they just wanted to call, because everyone is not on the internet, if so happen you have some older folks who may not play with the computers that much, what should they do?
They should call me at 312-207-4271.
And folks, I mean, not to slight older people, we need older people too.
Oh yeah.
Older people are the best mentors.
We get them in
Most
a
of
lot.
us was raised by grandparents, so if you can get some good mentors, male mentors, that'd be fantastic. So,
empty nesters, we need you.
Nesters,
come on.
yeah, something to do.
Come do something. My dad's 63 and I've been telling him he needs to do it. Oh yeah, he's retired now.
Your dad is young, man.
Yeah, but he was forced into like early retirement.
Yeah.
So it's just like, you need to just become a mentor. You don't have nothing better to do.
Well, the exciting thing about it is when you're with young people and you try to expose them to different things, you figure, like when I just deal with my interns, right? And I take them out, I take them to meetings with me, you just realize the stuff we forget about, they don't know. It's just any little thing that we share with them is like a big deal to them. And it has a large impact on their lives.
It definitely does.
And they just don't know. I mean, simple things, like looking people in the eyes, shaking people's hands, smiling, all those simple things that we just assume that every child know. A lot of kids don't get exposed to those things. No one take the time. I remember when we were young, our grandmother used to say, pull your pants up, stand up straight, right? It took, button your jacket, you know, say yes, say no, all those kind of things. A lot of folks don't do those kind of things anymore, you know, and a lot of people are actually intimidated by a lot of young people, in particular young men. You know, I always tell the young men, I'm like, look, man, get that frown off your face, right? Because when you frown, you know, and a lot of them, it's a hood thing. When you frown, people don't feel comfortable talking to you or approaching you. And a lot of young people don't understand that. And they don't even know they be frowning, you know, but just once once you break them down, man, they the sweetest kids in the world.
Please listen to him. He's like, he's hitting such poignant points. Those
they the sweetest kids, and they just you find they act like they grown. When you break them down, they just little babies.
They're just like little kids. Oh my gosh,
babies.
Yes they are.
They just little babies.
And I can't illustrate that enough. Like, so many people are intimidated by kids, or they just sign them off as just being bad.
Yeah.
They're just bad A kids. And it's like, no, it's just kids who don't have the investment,
That's
you know,
right.
or haven't known better. And to your point earlier, when I was a teacher, I had a student say, I told my mama, don't bury me in no suit. Don't bury me in no suit. Bury me in the clothes I come to school in every day. And I said, you gonna outlive your mama? And he said, well, my best friend got shot, killed, or coming to my house last year. That's just my reality. And it's like, no, a lot of them don't see themselves getting to those gray hairs. They they can see themselves getting a little facial hair. So it's like, we need the millennials to try to understand where these kids are, to try to remember where they were at that age. And listen, we were all confused.
Oh, yeah.
We all didn't know nothing from nothing. So please don't write these kids off. They truly need somebody who understands where they're coming from, and can talk them into a better future. Because they're gonna believe us sooner, you know?
Yeah.
They're gonna believe the people who survived these environments and found a way to make better. We owe it to each other to get back.
Oh, without a doubt. And then, you know, we contribute to society when we help somebody else to be straight and get right, you know, and enhance themselves. You know, I like to challenge every male out there. We have, how many young men you have waiting on mentors?
We have about 200 boys.
200 boys.
200.
200 boys, right, that could potentially lose their lives, that want mentors. So they signed up to get a mentor.
Right.
They signed up to get a mentor.
They want different. They
So
want to be
they're
different.
asking for help. They asking for different exposure. They're asking for opportunity to get out of the neighborhood. They're asking for an opportunity to get out of their comfort levels. 200 boys. That's incredible. Guys, we need some help with these boys. If we don't help them, they become a burden on all of us. And if we don't help them, it's our fault. You know, we need to help these kids, get them an opportunity. You know, and I know all of us can contribute something to them.
Absolutely.
That's why, you know, in my office, I got 100 interns, right? Everybody say, you need some interns, you need some interns. My staff be like, oh Lord, he bringing some more kids in here, right? But I just take all the kids. I don't care where they come from, I take them all. And we try to expose them, you know, because, you know, one little thing, and it's a funny thing, you can say one thing to a kid, and 10 years from now, they'd be like, you remember you said this to me?
Oh, yeah.
And you'd be like, no, I don't remember. I'm like, man, I was wise. I said that to you. But they remember. But you'd be surprised the little things you share with these young people can have a big effect on them.
Oh, yeah.
On their lives. So please call. So how would the volunteers get involved?
Again, just call me, please. 312-207-4271. If I don't pick up, for real, leave a message. It's my office phone. I'll always call back. I always answer my email. Again, that's Harris, Harris, @bbbschgo.org.
All right, so I like to challenge the fraternities, the folks in the churches, all of the organizations, Masonics, all of the different organizations. Come on out, man, and send some guys over there and get involved. We got 200 boys.
And even if you yourself don't want to get involved, there's other ways that can help. I also do snack and learns, lunch and learns, where I'll come out to your job, organization, and talk to other members that are in your group about being volunteers with us, and I'll give you a little food. Can't say no to that. We also have a matchmaker program where, as if you don't want to be a mentor yourself, you can always donate money, a little bit of money every month, and that goes towards sustaining our matches. So like $10 a month will go towards our hobby fund, $15 will go towards our training, our volunteers fund. We also don't charge for our background checks anymore. We have to pay for that, and that's $35 every person. And that's even if they don't become volunteers, because we do it from the start. And so that money goes to helping us fund our matches.
Fantastic. So Dana, I want to thank you very much. Dianna Harris. Mm-hmm. Okay, we want to thank you very much. God bless you for what you do. Appreciate everything you do in trying to recruit kids. I'm glad you came by our office. Hopefully this show is helpful to you. I hope people will give you a call, get involved. We like to thank Big Brothers and Big Sisters. We like to thank all of the people who contribute to you and all of your volunteers, because you all are saving people's lives and helping to enhance our society. So we all benefit from what you all do with the young people in our community. I'd like to thank you very much for coming on the show. I'd like to thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching Network 27. I'm Alderman Walter Burnett, signing off. See you next month. Peace.